when pandemic hit, there was a huge dearth of technology presence on the people side on manufacturing shop floors, which prevented companies to go to let's say a hybrid model of manufacturing kind, right? So if you would recall the days of lockdowns and the entire acceleration of this hybrid model that has happened.
So I wanted to know that as many companies are now adopting the hybrid workplace model and the employees becoming isolated, employee connection is, of course, crucial in having an engaged workforce. While some may argue that it is not, the employee connection is not a necessary part of today's company, but I think we still believe that it is an important element in maintaining the firm's productivity and output. What benefit does the workers' connectivity bring to a company, and how does your product help to foster those relationships?
Got it, sure. So Harsha, I think that's a very fair observation that you bring out, right? Of the hybrid model and people working from home, and the things that have happened over the course of last 2 years. So first of all, I'll talk about how do we look at it as just as our perspective on it, and the second, what is Maximl doing for the persona of deskless workers inside manufacturing plants to change it, right? So I think definitely it is an important part, both around work related outcomes as well as non-work outcomes that are there, right? For people to feel connected, to feel motivated and engaged with what they're doing. It cuts across things around how you learn, how you execute, and on a daily basis, how you feel connected with the progress of work that is happening. For a large part of the persona, when you look at the manufacturing shop floors, in fact, the problem is different. That when pandemic hit, there was a huge dearth of technology presence on the people side on manufacturing shop floors, which prevented companies to go to let's say a hybrid model of manufacturing kind, right? So if you would recall the days of lockdowns and the entire acceleration of this hybrid model that has happened, right? For a lot of essential commodities, for a lot of essential manufacturing plants, they had to run with a lot of precautions for those workers, but they had to work from office. So our diagnostics of this problem in the space that we work in is that there is actually a dearth of technologies that can enable people, just like, let's say, the white collar or the tech world collaborates beautifully with a lot of productive tools. There is a dearth of those technologies that could have enabled them to do it. But be it a physical space, offline space, on an online space, engagement is important, and I think a lot of those things are going to come up. Coming to Maximl, what we do is that we look at primarily the problem statement of, first of all, looking at how to increase the efficiency of a plant, and do that vertical by vertical, right? The most important one being asset reliability and worker safety, right? These are the two problems for, let's say, a large process plant such as a refinery or a steel plant or an aluminum plant or a chemicals factory, right? These are the spaces where we increase the way you can ensure that your assets are healthy and they're performing at the parameters that they should, as well as ensure safety of assets as well as workers, right? But we do it and achieve it from a people lens, right? So where our touch points exist are where we can how will tech help a deskless worker get trained by giving them a new age experience of a Coursera like course rather than a 6-inch binder about learning how you should operate a particular equipment safely, right? So those are the aspects when you're trying to, let's say, solve problems, right? Giving you that consumer like experience to solve those technical problems through digital collaboration, whereas the age old method is to solve it by people coming into the same room, and that's practically the only way to solve problems effectively in the industry today. So those are the areas that we focus on, and maybe look at a lot of those areas around employee engagement and how do we bring in, let's say, individual incentives. Those are areas that we look forward to solving in the future, but ours is a more efficiency lens through which we look at it, where we are providing technology for people to become more efficient at what they do inside factories, right? So I think that's our perspective on this.